So today is a really unique opportunity to celebrate something we do not often get to celebrate. And Garry Walstead, that is 50 years of you being with us. And I can't thank you enough for all that you've done over 50 years. If you think about it, 50 years is a long time. I did a little looking, and when you go back to 1971, I was 1 year old, by the way, at that point. Gas was 36 cents a gallon, and you could buy a house for about $25,000. So a lot has changed in the world, a lot has changed at Burris. And a lot of that change at Burris, you've been here for, Gary, and you have been a very big part of it. Burris is comprised of people that make it happen. Garry Walstead makes it happen like very few. He has been there with us through all startups, all challenges, all situations where the wheels come off the wagon from time to time. And the Burris family says a very big thank you for 50 years of service from Garry Walstead. So Gary, thank you for all that you've done.
I've only been here 50 years. 30 of it I spent in Harrington, Delaware. The other 20, I've been attached to the IT team. Actually, full-time, I was 19, and I started in our Harrington warehouse. Started as a picker for about 3 days, and then they put me in the stacker crane, and then they put me as supervisor on day shift, and then we rotated night shift, and so I knew everything about the building and putting the cranes in. Worked my way up over there because I had a lot of good people underneath me. Loved the Burris family. I loved the culture. I had all these good people underneath me. That's what kept me there. It's really them that made me look good and helped me move up through the ranks. So I had to contribute all that to the people that worked for me and with me. We had a fire in '79, which is on the wall here. Everybody went out of the way to make that happen. We never missed a delivery to our customers, thanks to Bob and all the people that were working in Harrington went to these other warehouses to produce it. And then the core of us stayed in there to take the cranes out, to take the product out, to put product in and all that. So that was a team, again, team effort. There's no I in this, it's all team.
When I think of Garry Walstead, I think of a couple things. One, rock solid common sense. Let's just get done what we need to get done. And along with that, a sense of humor. No matter how bad it gets, there's always time to crack a joke or get in a laugh, which I appreciate. It makes the load lighter.
Gary is one of the most humble and hardworking people that I have ever had the pleasure of working with, and his sense of humor as well as his diplomacy is such an asset to our group and to Burris Logistics in general.
When I think of Garry Walstead, I think about the culture and the culture sheet at Burris. Garry Walstead fully represents the culture of Burris. He's hardworking, he's loyal, he's dedicated to the task. You'll always find Gary where he needs to be. Gary's always the first to volunteer. He's usually the first one to the building and he's the last one to leave. And Gary treats his teammates, like he treats his family. He's there for them when he needs to be, and we're very thankful for Gary.
He was amazing, and the same all 50 years, really. I think back to the day of his retirement party, what Ed Krupka said was very perfect in that wherever we needed Gary to be, Gary was.
Working with Gary is just a joy. You're going to work hard, you're going to get it done, it's going to be done right, but he is going to keep you laughing the whole way through. He makes sure that the right questions are asked if we're in the middle of a startup, that we know exactly what we're trying to accomplish. But man, you will be in stitches all day long, or all night, whatever it takes.
Gary, as you approach retirement, I wish for you an enjoyment and fond memories as you look back over 50 years, but an enjoyment of many years ahead. Perhaps we can coax you into working for another decade, who knows? But at this point, I wish you very, very well in retirement.
Well, selfishly, I wish Gary would be working here, at least for the rest of the time that I work here until my retirement. But that not being true, I wish for Gary to have the time to spend with his family and to enjoy all the fruits of his many, many years of hard labor.
I just can't. I was just talking to Kent Garthwaite, who's a real good buddy of Gary's in the other room before this began, and we were very concerned that retirement it just doesn't hit with Gary at all. He plans to take this trip with his wife, and I hope that works out wonderful for him. Maybe 3 months of traveling, but I can't imagine that by July next year that he's not nosing around here trying to do something for somebody, be it work or personal. But Gary will be associated with our company as long as he's breathing.
Oh my goodness, I know Gary and his wife Bonnie both. And so I wish them happy, happy years of retirement. I know they plan to travel, and I hope that they do that and have a blast at each and every one of their stops. I know their children through the years here at Burris, and they're just going to have a wonderful time. They have grandchildren. They'll most likely have great-grandchildren in years to come. So I just wish them total happiness and health.
Garry Walstead is going to be one very hard man to replace. He's got very big shoes to fill. And I know that he and Bonnie have got some traveling, in mind. But as I've told Gary, he can't completely leave us. So he's going to be back. We're not going to see him, sign off completely. But I hope that he has, long and good and happy health, and enjoys his family, enjoys his, wife and kids and grandkids. And I'm sure he's going to be out there doing his chores around his house, and everyone else's in the neighborhood too. So we wish you well, Gary. We're going to miss you. We thank you for 50 good, long years of service. Thank you, Gary.
Can I get some applause or something? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. No, hold your applause, throw money. Paper only, paper only.